Hello and welcome back to another Reddit Reacts, and today, as it has been the Canadian Grand Prix last weekend, we're going to see a Reddit reacted to it, so let's go and see. Okay, so here we have the first meme. Mick Schumacher when he's in the top 10. BAM! So, if you didn't know, Schumacher's engine, or he had some other problems which made it so he couldn't keep on driving, which meant that he had to, he had to retire the car, which is not good because Mick Schumacher hasn't scored points, and usually when he's in a high point scoring place, he retires either by crashing or mechanical failure. So it's interesting to see that this time it wasn't him who crashed, but it was the engine which exploded. He did it again! Who can stop this man? Nicholas Latifi, top 16, streak continues. Mr. Consistency? So 16, DNF, 16, 16, 14, 16, 16, 15, 16. So he DNF'd in Saudi Arabia, I don't remember what happened there. But then he has finished now just higher than 16. But that's usually because of retirements. So I mean, is it better or not actually? You will have to say your opinion on it. The caption to this video is that it's very hard to dislike this man, so let's see what the video is.
Good to see you back in the top 10. How did you feel after qualifying?
Come on, that was very monotone. Yeah, good to see you back in the top 10. I really felt it. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. No, it's alright. It's only P9, so I respect your lack of enthusiasm.
Oh well, I mean, Ricciardo is Ricciardo, so yeah, it's just that he has moved and he's very, you can't hate him, but I think it's just sad for him that he was in this winning car and then he tried to move to become the #1 driver and it hasn't worked out so well. Oh well, certain people make certain bad mistakes, and a thing which is the same between Daniel Ricciardo and Fernando Alonso. Both have driven for Renault when they weren't at the best, and they both have driven for McLaren when they weren't super competitive. But of course Alonso drove in a much worse car, GP2 engine. Now it comes to our sort of weekly episode of what has this Spanish animator done. So let's see what he has done.
Atención, que va a empezar la clasificación del Gran Premio de Canadá. Estoy seguro que Magic Alonso gana. Pero qué vergüenza es esta. Verstappen está mojando la pista porque el Red Bull corre mejor en agua. Ha llenado toda la pista de agua. Debería ser desclasificado. Pero bueno, empieza la clasificación y vemos a todos los coches deslizando.
I love this really 3D guy. This would be like my dream collab if I could make a video with him. But the problem is I can't speak any Spanish. Okay, so we are obviously not going to watch all of it. But it's really funny, so I will link, as usual, his video down below. Okay, how to become fit by watching F1. Become fit. Mercedes has porpoising issues. 10 push-ups. So your push-ups you might stop doing push-ups because they said they fixed it, but you never know with Mercedes. Stroll makes a mistake but blames it on someone else. 10 squats. Yeah, that happens. Leclerc takes pole. 20 sit-ups. Usually happens if he doesn't have any engine issues. Also pits on the safety car. 1.5 multiplied by everything. As it did on the weekend, they pitted twice, first on the virtual safety car, then on the safety car. Latifi crashes plank until safety car ends. Tsunoda is angry, 2 star jumps. Perez over Verstappen loses power, 30 bicycle crunches. Yeah, that's a easy way of becoming fit. We know who got the remaining 39.7% at the Mafia. Starting from the back row, thanks to the engine penalties, It was always going to be a tough afternoon in Montreal for Charles Leclerc, but Ferrari driver Navigara battling all the way up to P5 to limit the damage in the title race. Here's how the voting broke down. 21.6% Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton 11.9%, Carlos Sainz 10.6%, Max Verstappen 10.2%, and there is somebody underneath. Fernando Alonso 6%. So, FIA, where did those 39.7% go? I wonder who could have maybe gotten it without being allowed to. Ah, I know. Well, if you don't know Latifi, everybody wanted to vote for him, and then of course what's it called? If a social media person puts it out, everybody votes for them, and then they get angry. But it has happened before with Mazepin. Everybody voted for him. I think it was in Abu Dhabi or something, but no driver today happened. So I mean, that's interesting. Merc, when Russell gets a podium versus when Hamilton gets one. Undrivable cars. I'm sorry, we have to work so much harder. Get in there. We're back. What a race. Yes, if you didn't see, I believe it was, when was it? Yeah, he got like a podium or something last race, and I believe it was saying like the team wasn't doing so much. They weren't a lot, but then when Hamilton gets a podium, everybody jumped. That could be like some internal thing, but maybe they're, I don't know, but could be more because Hamilton hasn't gotten a ton, so they give him, so they are happier for him. I don't know. Well, that explains a lot. Okay, so Homer Simpson talking about, oh, you can stretch it by using a rim or a trash can, I can't fully see. They have Hamilton stretching on top of a tire. Well, he said he felt young again, but we'll see what's happened. Ferrari 2019 engines, low rake victims, bendy wings, pit stop rules are now bouncing. I'm glad I've never been a fan. Mercedes winning, 8 consecutive world constructor chassis. Mercedes when someone is faster. Please chase rules, we're F. I'm not going to go into it because I'm a Mercedes fan, but let me just say that my opinion is fully that a lot of people just look at just Mercedes and point them out saying that they want the rule change, when there are a ton of other teams also complaining about it. So I'm also linking out the video down there talking about this heated exchange where they go more into detail and they are more in a neutral position. So I think you should listen to them and not be biased. Sorry, ice cream machine is broke. Schultz, so this is meaning that because the race suits looks a bit like the McDonald's suits, and him at the computer doing something during the race, I believe it is, and they just photoshopped him in as a McDonald's worker. Very good. The context is pretty deep. Kimi joining Sauber in 2001. Oracle Red Bull Racing. So that's actually interesting. I remember I watched a video on this where it said, I think it was like Sauber were debating over one team or the other, one driver or the other. Kimi was one, and the other one I believe was Red Bull back. And Red Bull wanted this guy to go into the team because Sauber, I believe, were sponsored by Red Bull at the time. But then they chose Kimi, I think because it was better. Good choice. And then I believe it was Red Bull were angry, so they made their own F1 team. So I mean, that's interesting that it all led up to Oracle Red Bull Racing and a ton of people hating on Michael Massey. Never ask the biggest robbery in F1. Never ask a woman her age. A man he said, Liberty Media were 38% of the drive of the day. As we talked upon it before, Latifi visiting this sub. I do believe they think I'm some kind of goat. Yeah, this is basically Reddit. I mean, if you're bad at something and you're just funny, they usually just make you look like you're very good. I feel like I've been handled in that way sometimes, but I wouldn't say I'm the worst at the sport I'm currently playing, but I'm not the best. Average our Formula Deck posts, they're making the Papasa Classic go TV in this hour. That's a good meme. That's a good. So now we have the last meme of the day. His spirit never left. Thanks to Sebastian and P0 plays Bois. So if you're a Drive to Survive fan and haven't watched a lot of Formula 1 until this is your first season and you don't fully know a lot about Bois and Moi and all the other words, Kimi Räikkönen is known for making weird noises and not saying a lot and being a nice man. So that's why this meme is on, and it's really funny for this nostalgic. And another fact is Kimi Räikkönen is the last World Drivers' Champion for Ferrari. Now we're done with the memes and let us go to the race run. So, what do we think about the race? Well, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst, because you had Leclerc fighting up in the field, Alonso doing some weird strategy, you have what we call Hamilton and Russell being who they are, just basically third in everything, just behind Red Bull and Ferrari. And then you have a lot of other things, but I wouldn't say this race was the race which gave the most enjoyment, but it showed certain people not being the best drivers, I would say. For example, Lucas and Ottawa. That's my opinion. Next video will be on the F1 game, because the next video will be on the F1 game, where I will be predicting it and seeing what I predict the media and everybody will think about it on the day that it's happening. So I want to see you there and comment your opinions down there below on that video. But until then, I've been Resident, you've been my Laser. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!